Everybody, I want to welcome you back to Living by Design, and I have another special guest today. We have the beautiful Beverly Beal, and I am going to allow her to introduce herself and tell you guys all about herself. So,
Okay.
Beverly, who is Beverly?
Who is Beverly? A mess. No, guys, thank you so much for inviting me on here. Amber is super sweet and even sweeter for rescheduling for me. But okay, so I'm from Detroit originally. I'm actually in Detroit right now. And went to Clark Atlanta for college, went to John Marshall for law school. Sorry, my dog is in the back. He's a lunatic. And so I'm sorry. I literally gave him a treat. He's just chasing his tail, y'all.
Okay.
I am so embarrassed.
Okay.
But Biggie, it's okay. Just get it. Okay. So I've been practicing since 2016. I started my practice in 2019. I kind of moved all around. Like I told you, I went to school in Georgia, moved to New York for a little bit, built my practice there, moved to DC, built my practice there. And I'm back in Georgia. Hopefully not for long. I don't know what I'm doing next, but that is my legal background. I feel like I don't know what I am. I don't know if I'm a content creator. I don't know if I'm an influencer. I don't know if I'm a blogger. I don't know if I'm any of them. But what I have, Life in Beverly Hills, I started back in 2014.
Okay.
And have been doing that. I'm not really heavy on it anymore just because it's a full-time job for people who don't think it is. It is definitely a full-time job. And I think just once I started my practice, I kind of just fell off as far as keeping up with it. But I mean, it is a platform. It's taken on like a thing of its own. And I'm glad that I have it because I can connect with people. And I definitely attribute it to the success in my law firm by having that platform. So kind of still doing that. And I have a couple more businesses I'm working on. I have a startup that I'm hoping will launch the beginning of 2023. And that's going to be helping entrepreneurs like all over the world, God willing. And what else am I doing? I just recently got into real estate and I love it.
Yes.
Love it here. Your girl is a landlord now.
Wow.
So yeah, I my hand is in a lot of pots. I like it that way. I know people think that's wild, but I really feel like I would go crazy if I was only doing one thing. I really like having a lot of things going on.
What is your sign? I know that's like funny to ask.
I'm a Cancer.
Oh, you're a Cancer? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Mother
If you talked to me
hand.
for like another hour, you would have guessed it.
I think I knew that, but I was gonna say like Capricorn because you probably have some earth, like because you are what is just I don't know, women don't want to use the word boss anymore. So
I like it.
yeah, you're a boss, you're a hustler. So I mean, especially from Detroit, all the girls I know, my cousins and everything, they're from Detroit. All the girls I know from Detroit are hustlers. So and Midwest girls, we work hard and we take care of our family and we love on our people, and that's just how we are. And we always are dressed nice and we're polite.
For real. Oh, and we're not just saying that because we're from there. Like these are facts.
These are facts about Midwest women. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say this. You said you're like, really, as far as like your social media. I remember one time I said to you, I was like, you're very intentional about everything you post. So I know you were saying like you haven't really been doing the influencing or whatever you want to call it, content creator. I call you a content creator. You're a creator, you're an artist, you're all the things, you know? You're very multidimensional, just like me, have our hands in different pots because people are like, how do we do it? We just can do it, you know? But you're very intentional about everything you post, which is beautiful. Everything is in alignment, you know, when you post, and it's like, okay, we drop something, we're talking about business, either we're promoting an ad or we're talking about our life or we're showing some other things or we're showing like how you can help somebody. And I feel like you're really, really, really good at that. You don't have to post every single day. You get to post how you want to post. And you've built a following that really flows with that. Because it's like, oh, Beverly didn't post something. What she post today, girl? What she post today? You could disappear for 6 months and come back and everybody be like, Beverly's back, you know?
Well, you know what? When I started, I guess, Life in Beverly Hills, I didn't know what it was going to do. I actually started it right after I graduated law school, and I was like in a really weird place. This is right around the time I got really sick. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I graduated law school, and then it turned out I had ulcerative colitis. So it was like a really weird time, health wise, career wise. I just graduated, and I don't know, it was a bad time, to be completely honest. And I didn't know what else to do. I'm like, I'm done with school. Jobs aren't really looking good. I got to study for the bar. And then Life in Beverly Hills just kind of came out as like, I need to do something for me. And that's kind of how it happened. But even when I was getting into it, I was graduating law school and I'm like, I really don't have a job. So if I'm going to do this blog thing, I want to do it for money. And I know people always say, don't do it if you're trying to do it for money. I did it for money.
You got to do it for some money. You got to, I mean, it has to be a part of it. It has to be a part of it. Like,
so I'm like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. And I did have a job with a mentor. He gave me a job at his law firm at the law school. So I went straight into it, like doing it like a business, like running like a business. I'm getting the LLC. I'm going to get professional pictures. I'm going to build my brand. So, and that's how it came out. And it did well, like immediately. And I think that's just because I took it seriously immediately. I took it seriously, like it was a job, like it was a career. So that's how it happened. And it was just like, I like clothes, right? And I really didn't know how it was going to stick to me, right? I knew that people liked the way I dressed, but I really did not know that's what it was just all it was going to be about. And I'm like, that's not even 10% of who I am, like fashion. You know what I mean? Like I love fashion just as much as the next person, but I feel like I'm so much more than that. But it's been really hard getting people away from that. You know what I mean? I think people do take me seriously as a business professional, but just only being seen like to do fashion, I was like, I don't like this. You know what I mean? And I feel like I kind of fell out of love with Life in Beverly Hills because I'm like, y'all, y'all don't engage with anything other than clothes. Like they don't want to hear about it. Beverly, that's cute. We're glad for your little business. Now, can you twirl with another dress on? What's the new handbag out? Let me see your shoes. And that's what it became about. So, and for me, that didn't feel intentional anymore. I just like to dress nice, but that's not what I can't even say, but it's just not what I'm about. I really just like to be about growing whatever I'm doing and building things like off my mind and skills. Like that is my pleasure. Seeing something I came up with and like, this came from me. You know what I mean? Like I was, my friend was teasing me the other day. She just had a son. And I'm like, I get what you're saying. Like you just had a baby and, you know, that came from me. And you look at it like, oh my God, I had a baby. Like, you know what I mean? Like this came from, and that's how I feel about my businesses. Like I had this idea.
They are your baby.
You know what I mean? It came from my strength and my skills and it became something. I don't think people like really appreciate that. Like that's wild. Like and it's successful. Like you're doing okay. You're surviving. Yeah. So I think because of that, that's how the blogging kind of just fell off because I couldn't find my way. I couldn't figure out how to pivot that into like, okay, y'all, we're moving in a different direction. I'm changing, I'm growing. But I do try to be intentional. And quite honestly, if I don't feel like I'm being intentional, I'll disappear. And that's just how I feel. Everybody has their own thing. Everybody has their we got the girls who are going to tell you how to wear a sweater 10 different ways. We got the girls who tell you how to dress for the airport. We got, everybody got their thing. And I couldn't figure out how to get my thing across anymore. And sometimes I have to disappear if social media is not bringing me joy, it's not bringing me ideas, it's not
You
bringing
have
me
to.
creative flow, I get off of there. It's just that simple.
And I don't think people realize it's a lot. And a lot of people use it as like, you're very, like I said, intentional about it. Some people use it as a distraction. Some people use it to get away from their everyday life. And then, like I said, come tapping you like, Beverly, show us what the next shoe is, not knowing. That's why I say everybody is not designed to be an entrepreneur. Like everybody just doesn't get it. Like, we one, and this is another question I was going to ask you. A lot of us are just not designed to work for somebody. We just are more better in our flow, just creating on our own. So that is a question I wanted to ask you. Like, when did you know you were like, you know what, I got to work for myself? Like, let me just start my own law firm. Because I know you said you didn't, when you graduated from law school, you didn't have a job and you worked for your mentor. Well, where was the catalyst? You were like, you know what? No, 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 no. I'm just going to start my own law firm. And then what made you decide that you wanted to focus on a lot of
Intellectual
wait,
property.
intellectual property? Yes.
It was coming.
Yeah.
Well, I would say what made me want to get out on my own, I'm being very honest, I did not want to be an entrepreneur. I didn't. I was
Mhm.
forced to become an entrepreneur. Let me tell you, if
Mm.
I would have got a decent salary at a law firm, being an entrepreneur is very ghetto. I know people love it. I do love it, but this life is ghetto. And I'm telling you,
It's not for everybody.
if I would have got a decent salary, like at a mid-sized law firm, I don't know that I would have became an entrepreneur. I would have been fine with my check. I would have been fine with my life insurance. I would have been fine with my bonuses, and I would have went on about my business. But I just didn't get it. I became an entrepreneur by default. This was not through a lack of trying. I tried to keep a job. I tried to get my dream job. I tried to get my dream career and I didn't get it. So I became an entrepreneur by default. It's hard. Like you are everything in your business. So, but I guess when I realized I'm just not getting these jobs, that kind of happened when I moved to New York. I actually got a really good job. I mean, the pay was crappy, in my opinion, because New York is so expensive. I don't feel like I could even survive off my salary. Um,
Okay.
but I was working at an ad agency, loved it. Because basically we were working with creatives, we were working with influencers, and
Oh, okay.
so I was on a Procter and Gamble account. So, it's all the beauty products. Procter and Gamble pretty much owns everything. So I
Yes,
loved it.
yes.
I was in the legal department. I had two other attorneys that I worked with. I was the youngest, I was only Black, I was only female, but I
Mhm.
loved it. So, when we got audited by, it was either Pepsi or AT&T. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm supposed to name drop, but whatever. After we got audited, they let me go. It was just like, we don't feel like we need you on the legal team anymore. Crushed, right? And then I went on to work for Verizon Wireless, and it was Verizon Wireless. They're nice. It was cool. It wasn't them. It's just like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, it's not what I want to do. And I was a terrible employee. That's a very good indication that you're probably not supposed to work for anybody. I was a terrible employee everywhere I went. I did the bare minimum. I did the bare minimum, but that later kind of bit me in the butt, because if you're a terrible employee, you're actually going to be a terrible boss. So it took me a while to get in the boss role when I became an entrepreneur. That was a terrible
Okay.
employee. Like, didn't want to do
Mhm.
nothing. Like, no, I'm going to do this. And then when I'm done, I'm going to go home. That's not what being an entrepreneur is about. So,
Mhm.
I bumped my head a lot when I first got started on my own because I wasn't doing this when I was working for somebody. So it took a lot, but I think that's when I realized I moved from New York and then I went to DC, and then I was still getting like these not crappy jobs, but I just not what I wanted to be doing or what I thought I should be doing or what I thought I deserved, but I took them anyway, got the experience. And I would say this whole time, all I did was work on contracts. Like the trademark thing was actually a new thing for me, but my entire legal career has been around contracts. I can look at literally almost
That's
any.
what makes you an expert in contracts. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
that is my, I feel like I can do them in my sleep. Um,
Mhm.
so that's what that, got up to that. And then when I was in DC, I think a lack of social life too kind of pushed me into starting my firm. I did not really hang out when I lived in DC. It was
What?
a
In
no,
DC, you didn't hang
I swear I didn't. Like I dated a little bit, but as far as like making friends, hanging out, I did not do that in DC. I feel like they were so cliquish. I feel like if you didn't work in the government, you weren't in politics, or you didn't go to Howard, it's like, girl, get out of our face. We do not need you.
out?
We don't trust you. So I was just at a point like I'm too grown to be trying to get into these friend groups. So it was
Yeah,
a
I
lot of
feel
just
that.
like my head down when I was in DC. And I'm grateful
Okay.
now because everything just came about. And in my solitude, I became like a full-time entrepreneur. And that's how the
Yeah,
law
you went
works.
all
So
the way in. I remember following you and you had moved to DC. And then I just remember you were like left DC. So when you left DC, where did you go to next?
what I sold my condo and then I actually moved back home for a little bit because I was going to go to Chicago next. I had got my bar license and everything in Illinois. So I was going to go to Chicago, and then the pandemic happened and I kind of just got stuck in
Oh,
Michigan
okay.
for a while. I mean, my mom would have literally had a fit if I would have moved during the pandemic. Like she wanted me to sleep in her room. That's how crazy she was about it. She definitely didn't want me to be in another state. So I
Yeah,
ended up staying. I mean, it was great though. I saved a lot of money. Now it's like
yeah,
I never want to leave out the house again. This is stupid. Why did we ever do this?
yeah.
Uh why did we ever move out of our parents' house? So I did. I saved a lot of money. And then I just ended up deciding to come back down to Georgia. I mean, all my roots are there as far as,
Yeah.
college and law school. So until the next thing, but that's where I'm at now between Michigan and Georgia.
You know what? I have to throw this in there because, Beverly has several businesses, and one of her business is a contract
Yes.
company where you can buy contracts.
Yes.
And I know at the end of the podcast, I will put all those links where you can find everything with her contracts and everything. So, but now that I'm hearing more of her story, I get to see how your contract business came, and it was just brilliant how it came to what it is today.
Mhm.
But I want to also, like, as far as like working with creatives, this is where I want to pivot. Like, people don't understand intellectual property and what it means and how important it is. Like, that's the next step in my business. Like, I still need to do more. I keep, talking about it, but this is something I've been knowing since day one I need to do. But people need to understand how important it is trademarking, and not just having an LLC doesn't mean that your business is trademarked. Like, can we dive into that?
Yes. Well, I think why intellectual property is becoming so important and popular right now is because everyone is deciding to be their own brand. And I love it. You know what I mean? Everybody is like, I am my own brand. I'm my own walking billboard. I am my business. So that's why it's so important to protect that now.
Mhm.
Everyone is doing their own thing. I mean, as much as people aren't entrepreneurs, almost everyone is an entrepreneur. So that's why I think it's so spicy right now. Like everybody wants to do it. Everybody wants to get on the bandwagon, but a lot of people aren't doing it the right way, like you said. But yeah, so I got into the contracts early in my legal career, and it wasn't by choice. Contracts are so boring. They're literally probably the least favorite thing that any lawyer likes to do, but that's where I got my skills. So just being able to look at any contract and like, okay, you're not protecting yourself in this contract, whether it's a apartment lease, whether it is a blogging contract,
Mhm.
a merger and acquisition, like everything is about protection. And that is like
Yeah.
the first line of defense when you get a contract. You're protecting yourself from something. That's what contracts are
Mhm.
for. And then as far as the trademarks, that was just like a happy medium. Like, okay, well, this is how I'm really going to help my clients. Yes, I know these contracts like the back of my hand, but these trademarks, that's what's really going to bring it in and show everyone that this brand is protected, because the contract is just going to be between you and that party. But the trademark is like, I'm putting everyone on notice that this is my brand. And
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Everybody don't know this.
That's how you do it with these trademarks. And that's another thing, that trademarks have been around for forever, but if you notice, it just like became a thing. Like people just started talking about it. And I don't know why, but I'm glad, because it's good for my business. But I think celebrities have definitely helped with that. I think these big companies, the Googles, the Amazons, and people are really starting to realize how important branding is. Like if you are going to go out on your own, you are going to start your own business, look at them, look at their roadmap, look what they do. Like I think 30% of Google's assets come from their trademark ownership. Like, because they're able to license
Okay.
it out. So that's how the trademarks came about. It definitely wasn't something I started from the beginning. My main
Okay.
goal was contracts. And then the trademarks just came about, and I love doing them now.
But it's such a vital part of your business, especially if you're a service provider, entrepreneur. You know what? Like, okay, so a lot of my business, a lot of my advertising I do is on Facebook. I've really built like a community, not even like, I've built a huge community on Facebook. Some people, are like, they don't like Facebook. I love Facebook. A lot of my clients have come from Facebook. People, I get to really, because Instagram, I don't know, something with me and Instagram, like they just stare at me. And I'll be like, okay,
Instagram is a
I'm just
staring
gonna,
app. It is
and
how
they,
long can you get people to stare at you? And
oh, well,
that
they
for me
stare.
is so wild to me.
It
Like,
is wow. So you know what? I don't really even post. I just go straight to my stories and I put on a little show for you. But I mean, my stories are interesting.
yeah.
So I'm like, my stories are interesting. And I'll say all and everything. So I mean, people,
You
if
are
you get
definitely one of those people like, I'm not even posting this today. My life is so boring. I do the same things. But you know what? That's what Instagram is about. Like people don't want to hear this, but you have to have an inch of narcissism to do well on Instagram, because you have to tell yourself every day, people are interested in me. You know what I mean? You got to say that to yourself. Even when you don't
if
think
I
you're
don't post,
interesting, you
they
got
be
to
like,
tell
I don't post.
yourself, somebody want to see my life today. And I don't think that way. I'd be like, oh, I see this BS. Like I go to Starbucks, I work all day, I walk my dog. But you know what? People who do well on there, they want to see this. I'm going to do.
Yeah, they do. They do want to say that. I was going to say about a lot of coaches I watch on Facebook, and I've seen a bunch of girls talk like literally legally you shouldn't say these things. But there was a girl, she was like, they're not paying me. And somebody was like in the comments, did they sign a contract? And she was like, no. I was like, and I was looking at her, I was like, well, they ain't gotta pay you now.
Don't
They
have
they think
to.
that they
It's
paid
your word
you.
against theirs.
Yeah, like you didn't have a contract. She was just like, I'm trying to do better. And I was like, to me personally, I'm like, isn't the first thing, that was like the first thing I did. Like, let me get my contract together, because you got
Yeah.
to pay me. You got to pay, you got to sign that contract. Then you need to send that. No, before we even start, you need to pay that half of that invoice. then you need to sign that contract, then we can work.
Then
Then
we,
we can work. And I
well,
guess people don't think like that.
Amber, I'm gonna say this. A lot of people on social media, even some people who actually own a business and who are on social media, people only want to make it seem like they're busy. People are posting to make themselves look busy. I'm posting to make it look like I'm doing so much in my business, but people aren't actually making the investment to do well in their business. They just want to look busy. And that's the problem. People
That is
aren't actually putting the work and the money into their business and wonder why it's doing what it's doing. I get it. Content is king, but people are spending so much time on content to look busy or, to look like their business is a success instead of actually making sure their business is a success. And I
a
don't
lot
get
of
it.
work.
And I'm like, well, what's the point of starting this business just so you can look like you're doing something? That's the part that I don't understand because there are some very talented people, but really don't want to do the work or pay the money to have someone else do the work.
That is true. I mean, like I grew up in a small business home. So my dad was a dentist and he just retired during the pandemic. It
Mm,
came right on time. He was already selling his practice. My mom and dad worked together, so my mom did the business part. So like a lot of the things I do is because I watch my mother, my dad was more like the muscle, and my mom was like, okay, you need to do this, you need to do this, and be
yeah.
patient, and all that. But you're right. People are busy trying to look busy when it's a lot of freaking work. Like it's a lot of work. Like I'm like getting into general construction now, and it's
Mm,
a lot of work. And I am literally
that's like
in there.
physical work too.
I'm
Like,
doing physical work, okay? And just sweating, okay?
yes.
I'm literally doing physical work. So I'm like, I don't understand. Like, and I'm also able to throw up some content. And now I'm like, this is kind of tiring. Like giving you guys content and physical work. Like,
Yes. I'm not saying that it can't be done. And I'm not saying that people are successful in their jobs and you can't post content. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is I do see a lot of people not putting the work in the right place. Right. Like
mm,
it looks
mhm,
nice. It's a lot of fluff though. And I
mm,
only know that because I know what it looks like. I know what people's inner workings of their business look like. And you get in there and be like, sis, okay. You don't have anything, you know what I mean? And you're coming to me. Most of the time, I mean, most of my clients, I feel like are actually established business owners, which I love because they already believe in their business. They have confidence in their business and they want to see it do better. They want to see it grow. Every
okay.
once in a while, I'll get someone who is just coming to me and saying, oh, I want this trademark. I think it's going to help me get a blue check from Instagram. And I'm like, that's why you want your trademark.
Yeah, blue
That's
check.
why your
I'm
content,
trying to get a
and it's
check.
not
I don't
cheap,
know about no
right?
blue check.
You know what I'm saying? The trademark's not cheap, but it is people who just want to look important or look popular on social media. And I don't even think that they care really about the business. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
it's really weird. And then a lot of my influencer clients, they're always very interesting. And it's just like, why are you doing this? Like, what is your why and what is your end game? Like, how long
Yeah.
do you think you want to do this? And because this is your business.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, influencer, your business, your success comes from how people like you. Like that's very risky. Okay. You
Very
could be
much.
unliked tonight. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's it.
Yes.
And all that money you making is done. So
Yes.
what you really trying to do with this? Because
Yes.
it gotta be something else.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
You
it's
said
strange.
that why.
And I
People
mean,
don't know their why.
back to what you're saying, everybody not meant to be an entrepreneur. Yeah.
And everybody, like you said, everybody doesn't know their why. Some people are, like you said, they're just doing it. Like when you got into this, you were like, no, I'm gonna make some money with this.
Yeah.
And I have an end game with this. And I'm servicing people. I'm servicing them fashion. You're making money from posting clothes. You're making money from all different areas. And like your mind was, you had a why, and you were very intentional. And some people are just doing it because they want to look busy, they want to look popular, and they want people to like them, which is not
Yeah.
a way to make money. It's not, because people will, like you said,
You'll
people
get some
will.
instant money, but that's not long money. That's not a longevity type of thing.
Mhm. And here's another thing. I think don't, some people in business don't figure out they need to get their stuff together until an emergency happens. And that's the last thing you want to happen. Like, here is a good case. I noticed one of the girls bring it, what is it, bring it on? Just so assume that name was trademark.
You say what name?
Bring it on, the little dancing dolls.
Oh, bring it on. Oh, that whole debacle. Okay.
Yes, the dancing dolls. And they're so established. I just automatically assumed, and I gotta stop assuming,
Girl.
that they would have trademark. And
It's
I was
some
just like,
big companies who just got trademarked within this last decade, like 2010. It's some
mhm,
stuff by like Target that they just trademark. You get what I'm saying? Like
mhm,
huge companies. That's why I said it was not popular. I mean, maybe 20 years ago. Like
yeah.
I'm telling you, like just in 2000, people just started really getting trademarks, and then in 2010, people really start getting trademarks. But it's a lot of companies that are not trademarked. It's a lot of celebrities that drop stuff and it's not trademark. I went to a conference in LA and I'm looking at all these speakers that they have. Now, when I go to when I go to conferences, I am preying on business owners. I'm not necessarily there to listen to these people on the stage. That's good. That's great. I'm actually here to be with the audience and connect with them. But all these people I'm watching on stage,
Mhm,
half of them were not trademarked.
mhm.
And I'm just like, y'all out here promoting, y'all got investors, like all this type of stuff. And okay, girl. Okay. I don't I don't know what are we really doing here? And that's what
Mhm,
makes me think, how serious are you about it? You know what I mean? Because honestly, I can't take on every client because sometimes it's just not worth it. I know what you're doing and I know what you're not doing. And then once you spend all this money with me, you're not gonna come back at me and like I waste my money because you weren't serious about your business. You know what I mean? So some clients I just don't even take because I don't want you looking at me funny at the end of the
mhm.
invoice. Like, oh, I didn't spend all this money and my business not doing nothing. That ain't got nothing to do with law office of Beverly Beal. I did my job. You know what I mean? I protected what you do have. It's you not really being. I don't understand how people get into it, spend this money, do all this stuff on branding, and then just like don't really do anything about it. It's
So, next, here's the next thing. What made you want to get into real estate, like being a landlord?
girl. I just felt like I felt like it was just the next thing, right? But when people like I feel like I've gotten to a certain point in my life, in my career, and as far as my finances, that it was time
Mhm,
for me to start investing, right?
okay,
Like I'm making good money. I don't really have too many responsibilities. Um,
mhm,
so I'm like, what's the next best thing? I feel like I've already invested in myself. Okay. I got all
right,
these degrees. I, put all this money into myself. Now what's the outside that I can start invested in? So it was life insurance, disability insurance, and then real estate.
mhm,
And that's how that came about. I felt like for me that just felt natural. I felt like this was
yeah,
a natural segue. Do I know anything about real estate? Not a whole bunch, but I get the gist of it. I know the basics. I know you buy something, you get a loan, you get tenants, they pay the loan off, and you just keep on doing it and you just keep on flipping it.
that's
So
the basic.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the basics. So I felt comfortable enough. I felt like I had enough collateral, I had enough credit, I had enough capital, and I felt like it was just a natural thing to do. I flipped houses with my mom before,
Oh,
but
okay.
because I found a multiple unit this time, I was like, okay, I want to keep
Ooh,
this. And this is my first property that I'm keeping. And now that I'm a
okay.
landlord, because it's a multiple property. When it's just a single unit, in my opinion, it didn't make sense to try to rent it out because first of all, these homes are in Detroit. I can't
Yeah.
charge a lot of rent because it's just not the
Mhm.
area for that. It just takes a longer time for you to make that money back. When it's a single unit and you're trying to be a landlord. For me, I think it just makes more sense to flip the house and get that
Mhm.
big lump sum as opposed to getting it over time. But because I found a multiple unit, I was like, I want to do this. I want to get this over time. I just wanted the slow but steady money.
Yeah, that was so smart. I was gonna ask you if it was in Detroit because you guys, there's just so many. I haven't been to Detroit in years. There's so many. The home market. I just remember there's like a lot of abandoned homes, stuff you
Oh
could just
yeah.
flip and.
Yeah, just come up here, collect them like infinity stones and watch it, watch it
Mhm.
go. But I mean, if you know me, you've been following me for 3 days, you know that all my business advice comes from my mom. I've just been lucky to, like you said, have that in my home and I see it all the time. It was inevitable for me to not have my hand in a lot of pots. I feel like even if I didn't go the entrepreneur route and I just worked for a firm, I still feel like my mom would have been like, "No, okay, what else you got going on?" Even if I didn't
Mhm.
want to. So that's how the real estate stuff came about.
Yeah.
I
And your
definitely
mama
wanted
don't play about you,
my
girl. That's one thing I know. I've been following for years. Beverly don't play about little Beverly.
here. No, we don't. We don't play about each other.
Mhm.
It's It's good, but it's unhealthy. I'm never going to find a man because I already have an amazing husband. Like she's the best husband I've ever had. So we really do need to detach at some point if she ever wants to get me out of her hair.
Mhm.
But yeah, like in what's so funny, she's turning into my child. Like it's you get to a certain age level, I think, or maybe a
Mhm.
maturity level. She's my child. Like, are you having kids? Oh, I already have one. I have two actually, Biggie and my mama. I already have two kids. I'm a single mother
Mhm.
as far as I'm concerned. Um, but yeah, I don't move a muscle without her opinion on
Mhm.
it. And
Mhm.
I trust her about business. And I think it's something to be said about our parents who started business the old school way. I do everything old school. I mean, I know we have social media and that's what we have to depend on for our businesses now, but I like to do my stuff old school. And I like it because I've seen it done and I've seen it work.
Yeah.
Like they
It's
didn't
a
have
foundation.
nothing on Instagram when he had his dentistry practice. Like it was all old school and I
It
still
was.
need to depend on that. I don't own Instagram. And if I'm getting all my money off of Instagram and they take it away from me, what am I going to do? So,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? That's
Mhm.
another reason why I'm like, I gotta segue into something else that doesn't involve something I don't own. We don't own Instagram, Twitter, none of this. So if it shut down tomorrow, what the world gonna do?
Yeah, I know.
It's
It's
gonna be
always
a lot of Chanel
mhm.
purses for sale. Okay. It's gonna
A
be
lot of Chanel, a lot of Chanel purses for sale. Please don't
okay.
even go.
Um,
Okay.
gonna be a lot of investment pieces on Poshmark because what y'all gonna do? That's real. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, they
for
getting a
me,
whip, they getting a real lashing and whipping on this podcast. Is what are y'all gonna do next?
what
If
y'all gonna do next? That's not even no shade. I want to see everybody do well. So
Mhm.
I want to ask these questions to you so that you are prepared. And like I said, that can be all different kinds of things. Like I told you, my first thing was like the life insurance and all those kinds of things and disability insurance. We depend on ourselves. Like you need your face, your arm, your legs. What happens when you don't have that? And who's going to pay you? Like, I understand you may have savings, but that's just going to dwindle, right? So put those things in place so, you know, y'all can continue this soft life that y'all love so much when if something happens, okay? Because it's gonna get a big life and then it's gonna get a hard life. And what y'all gonna do?
Why are you in my head? Why are you in my head? I just said that yesterday. I was like, y'all gonna run this soft life into the ground. I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand it. Like, this is the luxury life, the soft life.
And these 20-year-olds being coaches, I don't know what we're doing out here. What are you gonna teach me? I just told my client the other day, I said, you know what? We are going to move into this next quarter with the confidence of a 25-year-old life coach. That's the type of confidence we about to have in the last part of this year. Okay.
Okay.
You need, I mean, it's people just waking up. I'm gonna be a life coach today. Girl, you're 23.
Excellent.
But you, who am I to tell her no? Apparently she knows something about life we don't know. So
she knows something we don't know.
But she got the confidence to hop out there and tell people about their life. So I can't be mad at her. But I do want people to like really, people hate when I say this because it sounds so simple, but like just sit down and like really make a plan. I get on these consultations, I get on these like business consultations, legal consultations, or whatever they're about. And I'm just like, why do you feel like you want to do this? Why do you feel like you need more followers? What is your why? And I know we on social media and there's so many things that people feel like they want and their need. And I'm like, why? Are you even a bad girl? You know what I mean? Like it, or is this just something you've seen? I don't know, like just get real quiet, just sit down and like things will come to you. Stop having things, you know what I mean? I can't really explain it, but it's a lot of people. I wish y'all would just go ghost for 3 months and like be in your and like just shut up and shut up everything around you, like, and get some clarity. I want clarity for so many people because I can tell. I don't know if it's that cancers just read people very well, but I see so much potential in people, but I know they're never going to see it because they never will just sit down and let it come to them. And I don't know. I've gotten real with my age. I've just gotten real like in touch with me. And that has, I attribute that to any success that I've had. I'm so in touch with Beverly. I already know what Beverly gonna do before she do it. You know what I mean? And then another thing, I'm so in touch with me, you can't knock me off of anything that I'm doing because I already got my backup plan. I mean, you know what I mean? I already got my system. I'm my system, right? So where did the confidence come from? Me. I get it from me. So that's why when you see me go ghost, I get away from here. It's because I feel like y'all draining too much of me. I don't have no backup. If y'all take all of Beverly, how am I going to make it work? You know what I mean? So I step away because I'm my backup. And if I feel like y'all, it's something draining me, it's something making me feel some way about myself, I got to step away because who else going to do it if I'm not feeling my 1000%? So it's a lot of mental too. And I don't think people
a lot of mental. You got to keep your mental together. And I know when I talked to you last time, you said you've been in the gym heavy.
Yeah. Well, I don't go to the gym as much because I kind of made like a little mini gym in the basement. So I do my treadmill and I try to swim every day, obviously when my hair's not done. And I try to swim laps every day. I finally finished my pool. So it's been it's a big part of it. It's mental, it's the physical health. I deal with like an illness that, you know, a lot of people don't know that I deal with every single day. But I gotta put me first. What is that? I gotta put me
Yes.
first, Lucius. I do. And my mental health and my physical health,
You
I
gotta take care of your body.
first.
And your
Yeah.
health.
Nobody else is gonna do it. And honestly, I love it here. I love putting myself first. And I hate to say it, but social media is the first thing to go. It's the first thing to go. When I'm feeling all over the place, bye y'all. Bye. Yeah. And like you said, the reason why I feel like I can step away for 6 months and come back and be like, hey, y'all, hey, is because I already know I did the work. I laid the foundation. I don't have to be on here all day chit chatting with y'all. Everything's still gonna run because I laid that foundation and I did the work. And it's just really that simple.
Do the work, guys.
Do the work.
Do the
Everything
work.
you're looking for is on the other side of that. And I guarantee you, nobody's over there. Over on the other side of the work, ain't nobody over there because ain't nobody else doing it either. Y'all think it's gonna be crowded. Y'all think, oh, it's so many bloggers, it's so many real estate agents, it's so many. No, it's not. Everybody out here mimicking results. Nobody's mimicking the work. I guarantee you, it's not enough. You think it's a whole bunch of Black female lawyers out here? No, it's not. It's not enough. Nobody wants to do the work. Nobody wants to go to school. Nobody wants to, get that extra degree. Nobody wants to take that extra class. Ain't nobody out here doing the work. Everybody just waking up and saying, I'm going to be a real estate agent today. All right, girl.
Thank you for pointing it. Thank you for pointing it out. Because my little sister does real estate and now she flips home. She's like, I'm barely in the real estate. She's like, I'll do it by a referral. She's like, I've been doing the work. And she says, now people are watching me and seeing, like, my little sister, I'm so proud of her. Everything has started to materialize for her. She's been putting in the work. She's been grinding. She's been struggling. And things have finally caught up with her. So it's like when I see people, and I had a friend who told me one day, she's like, I disappeared for 6 months and came back online and you're still going. I said, because I'm constantly doing the work, building the community.
And
So
then
if I do
how
disappear,
much that sharpens your skills. Like, get in the work, feel the growing pains, feel the struggle. All that does is just sharpen you. Like, you should, you think, oh, I got to do the work for a year. No, keep doing it. It only makes you better. It only grows everything that you're doing. I love getting new knowledge. I don't think people know how much of a nerd I actually am. But I nerd out on knowledge. I love it. I am constantly like reading things or learning things, and it could be something completely random, but I love to just keep on taking things in. And the more that you're on social media and you get off of it and you feel tired, it's because it is draining you. It is doing something to your mental, it's doing something to your physical. You may not think it is, you may think it's something very innocent. It's not. That time that you're spending on there, it's doing something for you, whether it's positive or negative. You just got to make that decision.
and if you're going to be on there, make some money from it. That's what I always say.
I ain't gonna touch on that because I feel like we gonna ruffle some feathers, but
Maybe we'll have to have you come on again. I know
I don't know how people on that app doing it for fun. I don't know. I love y'all for it because y'all are usually very entertaining people. I'm glad somebody on here doing it for no money because I'm not gonna do it. So somebody.
It's a lead generation for me. I don't know what y'all doing.
I'm like, girl, y'all spend all this money, y'all buy all these clothes, y'all go on these trips, and are y'all doing it for you? Or are you really just doing it for this app? That's so much money. It's so much money. And I have to tell people, like, listen, I get regular money. Okay. I want to be very clear. I don't know where that I can't speak to people's finances. I really can't. But what I will say is I do want y'all to stop comparing yourself to people. A lot of these people out here are stealing. Okay. I want to be very clear.
Thank you, Beverly.
Okay.
Thank you. This is
I don't point
this
out no
episode is
figures. I
Beverly
don't
gives
say
out
no
the
names.
legal advice of the tea.
Yeah, a lot of people out here are stealing. So don't compare yourself to that. Like, live your life, get what you can. And quite honestly, I think the reason why I'm so comfortable with what I'm doing is because I'm not lying about my lifestyle. So I can move the way I want to, or feel the way I want to. I'm not intimidated because I know I did all this myself. So you're not going to make me feel bad by the place I am in my life right now. I did the work to get here. You're not going to make me feel bad. I don't have to have 10 Birkins right now. I'm fine with my one. This is the work I did. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
feel good. You're not going to
Yeah.
tell me I'm missing out. I'm late. You're not going to tell me that because I did what I needed to do to get here. Nobody put me in this place. So I feel good. I love it here. You can't make me feel bad about where I'm at because I put me where I'm at.
Okay.
You just can't. Okay. So
Very good. Guys,
y'all
the moral of the story is please put in the work.
put
And I want everybody, how can they find you? You want to give everybody
you can
Instagram?
find me on Life in Beverly Hills on Instagram when I am there. And send a DM. I'm not like one of the fake mean girls who never respond. I actually do respond. I'm not I'm not that busy, and I am actually pretty friendly. So you can find me on there. My law firm website is Beverly Beal Law, and that's Beal is my last name. And I have moved my contracts over to my law firm site, so you don't
Okay.
go on the contract collection anymore.
Oh,
Everything
okay.
is all housed in one place. And that's where you can sign up for business consultations, legal consultations, trademarks, contracts, the whole thing. I have been getting a lot of people asking about the real estate, and I'm like, y'all, I'm not a real estate professional in like no capacity, but I mean, we can chat about it. I most certainly won't charge you because it's not my background, and I don't want you to sue me. But yeah, just DM me. But like I said, I'm doing the very basics of real estate. I'm not a real estate agent. I don't have my license. I just been, doing the basics.
Mhm.
But that's where you can find me. I think that's it.
Well, I'll make sure I put all those links there. And I want to thank everybody for joining us. And I will see you on the next episode.
Bye, Amber. It was so nice to talk to you. I'm so glad we